guys, welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade. We've got a cake recipe today. If you remember, I did the cinnamon roll cake last week and I've had some requests for it to be made. So that's what me and Steve are going to do today. He's going to film while I talk. He will put up on the screen the ingredients in US and metric. So here it is. This is the cinnamon roll cake. Just for you guys. Right, so first you want to preheat your oven and it wants to be at 350F or gas C. A 13 by 9 inch pan, greased, lined. I never really grease mine, I just line them with the sheets I've got back here. The 13 by 9 pan is ideally what it should be in. Obviously I don't follow my own advice, I just use the one I like, so that's what mine is. So in a large mixing bowl for the mixer, you're going to, it always falls off and all, it's annoying. You're going to add your flour. I'm not going to say how much because Steve's going to list them in US and metric when he does the editing. Aren't you, Steve? Huh?
Yes.
So let's get it on grams for me. So it's annoying because it always falls off here. So in the US, that's close enough. Let's not quibble over 2 grams. In the US, this is all-purpose flour. Here in the UK, plain flour. So just sift it in. It is important to sift this flour for this cake. I hate sifting. It slows me down. But it is important to keep this light and fluffy. So anyone who loves cinnamon buns is going to absolutely love this cake. So that's the flour in. We need half a teaspoon of fine salt. I'm using the pink Himalayan. There is actually, if you look online, people think there are health benefits to this. There actually isn't. I had a look. No proven health benefits to this salt.
Nice and pink, mate.
Yeah, nice and pink. Some salt. Then you want, it says granulated sugar, but I'm using caster sugar, which in the US is not done like that. How much do I need? That was lucky. Super fine sugar. There we go, bang on. Which I do quite often, don't I, Steve? Bang on.
Yeah. Regular.
Shut up. So that's the sugar in. You want 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Not corn flour.
No, not corn flour, dear, like you put in. Baking powder, 2 teaspoons. Make sure your baking powder has not been sat in the cupboard for a long time. It does have a, once it's open, it does have a best usage period. Don't work as well once it's old. And that was something Steve told me.
I know a lot of things.
You know a lot of things. So why don't you get in front of the camera then? Hey?
Don't want
to. So that was a baking powder. Then 1 teaspoon of what we call bicarbonate of soda, and you call in the US baking soda. So 1 teaspoon of that. I use this for all sorts, so I don't think I'm likely to run out of bicarb anytime soon. So just make sure that's got no lumps in. What's next? It wants 355 mils of buttermilk. I haven't got buttermilk, but I ain't worried. Use buttermilk if you've got it, I would, but I'm not worried. So, I don't know what you call this milk in the US. You have different percentages. This is whole milk. I would advise you use whole milk as well in the UK. So, how much did I say I wanted? 355 mils of whole milk. And if you use the whole milk instead of buttermilk, you can use white vinegar. I'm just checking for my... Right. So into this I'm going to put 2 tablespoons, luckily just enough, I think I've got some more outside, of white vinegar. And that's your substitution right there. I can already feel in it, it's getting thicker. You can see it, look on the, what do you call it? But I do advise use, oh yeah, it's definitely, can you see, does it show, Steve? Kind of. I'm going to pour this in, all of it. So if you can't get buttermilk, just white vinegar and whole milk. I tried it with the non-whole milk, didn't work, did it, Steve? No. So, unless I did something wrong. You want 2 eggs, throw them in as well. So as you see, it's not a very difficult recipe. And we're going to put it on to mix. I do not want you to turn this up full. I want you to keep it quite steady because you don't want to overmix this. Literally a case of just mix it in. So now I'm going to scrape the sides down already. Like I say, don't overmix it. Makes for a heavy cake. You can see though, that's not mixed in at the bottom, look. Get a good mix. Don't forget this part because you're going to end up pouring it out and having loads of flour at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And then you're going to slowly, I've got some melted butter, and there is 113 grams metric. And you're going to slowly pour this in on a low speed, and as soon as you put the last of the butter in, turn it off. Again, no over mixing. Turn it off. No, it's not all mixed in. Don't worry about that. All you want to do is just mix it by hand. It'll go in like it would if you was using the mixer. It's not a thick batter. Right, that's it. This way you avoid making a heavy batter. So I've got my tin here. All I'm going to do is try cack-handed so you can see. Hold this in. This looks as though it's going to be too small, but it works out perfect. Make sure you get it all out. Now baking times are going to differ from my oven to your oven. You could put another gas stove next to mine and it wouldn't cook in exactly the same time. But it's not ready for the oven yet. So we've got the batter in the pan. So now we're going to do the cinnamon swirl for it. So light brown sugar. Again, Steve will put it up for you on screen. How much you need. Butter. Not much to this. A tablespoon of cinnamon. Plus 2 tablespoons of plain flour or all-purpose flour. Hang on. Oh, that looked odd. And just mix them together well. Give it a scrape down. As you can see, not everything's in there. Go again. Just to this stage where it's a bit creamy. Get it off there, you don't want to waste them. I'll mix them 2 bits in, that's fine. All you want to do is drop it in any way you like. First time I made this I thought, oh, it's going to spill over, but it doesn't. Put a bit up there. You're going to swirl it anyway, so you don't have to be too precise with this. Just make sure you've got some everywhere on the pan. So this is a lot lighter than a cinnamon roll, and a fresh cinnamon roll you've got to make the dough and everything. Obviously this is a lot quicker, and it stays for about 5 days at room temperature. So all you're going to do, take the flat end, not the pointy end of a skewer, so you don't rip the parchment. And this is why you didn't have to be too specific with where you placed it, because you're just going to go in and swirl it about. Wherever it sits in the pan when it's cooking is where it does stay, so make sure you give it a good mix about. So over here, over there, that's good enough. So this wants to go in the oven. My cake, this one, takes 40 minutes at the temperature that I told you. If you use the 9x13 tin that this recipe should use, really, it should bake for 30 to 35 minutes. It does come with a glaze. I'll show you that also when the cake's cooled down. If it's not cooked at the 35-minute mark, put it back in for another 5 and keep doing the same. Every oven is different, so I will see you once this one comes out. And there's the icing. So this is the cake cooled down. That's all that you can see is the cinnamon thing, the cinnamon swirl, and down here too. Yum. So just now it's cooled down, I'm just going to put some icing on it. If you want to get all fancy, you can get all fancy, but there's no need to in this house. No one takes any notice and it'll be eaten. stuck. I've ruined it. Got stuck on me thingy over there. Never mind. Squish that into sides. Everybody likes a bit of icing. As it starts to harden up a bit, I'll push it onto the side so it's covered all the way around. But that essentially is it. So once this is hardened, I'll cut you a slice and then you can have a look. So there you go. That's it, all done. Cinnamon bun cake with a drizzle that disappears. Oh. Well, cinnamon roll cake, not a cinnamon bun cake. So thank you very much, guys. Let me know if you make it. Really easy. It's even easier when you haven't got Steve next to you filming. So don't forget to, he's looking at me. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.